I'm back in the backyard today, gonna continue working on my garden transformation. It is a beautiful but chilly day. I've done a little bit more work since the last time I've posted. More walls have come down on the playhouse. This wall here will be the next one to come down, but I will need to cut back this bush before I can get to those. So today we're actually working on this garden bed. Over the past couple years, I have been gardening in this bed here, and now I want to expand and go to this area, but it's pretty much untouched and the soil is not very workable. I've been researching regenerative gardening practices, and so I will be setting up this bed using one of those practices. As always, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video, for subscribing, for liking, and for commenting. I received a few encouraging comments on my last video, and they just made me so happy. So thank you for being here. And if you're new, my name is Crystal, and I'm here working in my backyard trying to transform this mess of a garden into something beautiful and productive. This garden bed is sandy and clayey. I don't know if that's a word, but we're making it a word. And it needs some work. So I've been researching different practices, just trying to figure out what to do and how to turn this bed into a productive and workable space. So this regenerative gardening process is called native soil gardening, I think. It is an alternative to no-dig garden beds. I had every intention of doing a no-dig garden, but when it comes down to it, I don't have the money to be transporting that much compost into my garden. So we are going to do this method. And from what I've learned about it is actually good for the soil. It amends the natural native soil. And yeah, so I'm trying to use what I have and save money at the same time to create a good garden bed. There are 3 steps to the process. So first is to till the ground, and yes, there will be some soil and life disruption in the soil, but ideally we'll only do this one time, and then we will create a healthier garden bed. So step 1 is till. Step 2 is to add a thin layer of compost, and then step 3 is to plant a cover crop. So I'm going to till, add the compost, and then I'm going to do clover all in this area. And then I'm hoping by fall I can begin to plant vegetables in this garden bed. It'll be softened, there'll be a nice layer of living mulch, and yeah, so that's what we're doing today. I started by spraying the area with water to soften it and removing the bigger pieces of debris. Came in with the cultivator to break up that top layer of soil. This was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. I was expecting it to take way longer and be much more physically demanding than it was. Step 2 is adding a layer of compost. This is purely compost by G&B Organics that I picked up at my local nursery. I only got 1 bag. I probably should have done 2 bags, but we will make do with 1. I hope that next time I set up a garden bed, I will be using my own compost, but I will need to actually finish setting up the compost bin and making the compost before that happens. So in the meantime, we will use bagged compost. Cover cropping is a new concept for me, so I did some research, aka a quick Google search of what cover crops I could start in the springtime while it's still cold. My options were oats, rye, buckwheat, or legumes. Did a second search, that popped up Clover, and that is all that my nursery had. So Clover it is, which is totally fine because I've wanted a clover garden for a really long time. So this is like getting my feet wet on the whole clover train. After sprinkling the seeds, I just had to rub my hand over it to cover lightly with the soil, and we were done. I got some compost tea at my nursery when I picked up the compost and the clover seeds. So that's what I'm going to use to water the clover. Um, and it's honestly a little cold, and so I don't know if these seeds will germinate. But I'm going to pray over the garden and hope for the best. And then, worst case scenario, I have more clover seeds, and I'll try again when it's a little bit warmer. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I will definitely keep you updated on how this clover cover crop produces or does. Um, yeah, anyways, thanks again for watching this video, for supporting my channel, and for letting me share my garden experiences with you. God bless.